Guys and gals, what are we going to look at today? We are going to look at the Finch Knives model 1929. This is a unique little stubby traditional style folder done as a flipper. So you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume. Here comes a little bit of music. I can't find the remote. So this came in from Lefty, Kevin over at Lefty EDC. He sent it along with the Holiday and the EMP Nimble, and I'm just finally getting around to doing it. These Finch knives are great, guys. QSP did such a good job on the OEM for these. These are like this one more specifically, as opposed to the Holiday. These Finch knives are a lot like knives that I remember my grandfather carrying that are just basically brought into a more modern form factor, running on bearings. There's flippers, there's pocket clips and stuff like that on them, but they're done incredibly well. So yeah, let's just turn this around. I don't make this taking long. It's not going to be a real long review because I didn't do a lot of cutting with this. I actually did, though, get my wife a rose off of our rose bushes with this, which would be something my grandfather would have done with a knife like this. This would be what I would consider, like, if you were doing like gardening work and things where you're pruning bushes and things. This was what I would have seen my grandfather do with one of these. So not to make it take any longer, guys, let's take a look at it from above. Guys, this is another knife that I did not hard use. I did use it a little bit. I carried a lot. This is the Finch 1929 Barlow. So this is just basically a take on a classic traditional pocket knife. So let's get some specs and everything out of the way, and then we'll talk about the knife itself. So what you're looking at is an overall length of 6 inches. So it's not a very big knife, 6 inches. Blade length is 2.5 inches. It's done in 154 cm. Clip point, stubby clip point, flat ground with a satin finish. Blade stock thickness on this is 0.119. That's what they have listed. Let's go ahead and check that. Let's not cut ourselves again today, Mike. 0.1165 is what I'm coming in at. So a little bit under what they have listed, but that is pretty typical with a lot of knives. Just depends on finishing and stuff like that. Handle length on this, 3.5 inches. It is a stainless steel and micarta bolster lock on this one with titanium pocket clip, and it does run on bearings. And I'm going to tell you guys, the action on this is amazing. Now, I did not see a weight. The places I saw this, I did not see a weight listed. Let me look again just to be sure. Hang on just a second. I actually looked it up on on Knife Center, and I dug down further through the specs, and it is listed at 3.1 ounces. So let's go ahead and bring the scale in. All right, let's go ahead and get a weight on this. So first, let's do it in ounces. Let's get the ounces out of the way. So they said 3.1, 3¼ ounces. In grams, that comes in at 90 grams. It is not a heavy knife. So let's get the scale out of the way and let's talk about the knife and take a good look at it. So Lefty sent this. I hadn't ever got to see any of the Finches. I carried the Holiday first. This knife is a knife that really brought back some nostalgic memories. My grandfather had a Barlow a lot like this. I don't think the blade was quite as broad, but it was a short, stubby little clip point blade like this, and he used it all the time for clipping, for cutting roses, for cutting flowers for my grandmother, taking dogwood. Like my grandmother's, one of her favorite flowers was dogwood, and he would use that little knife for so many things around the farm. It's really good for cutting on, when you have to cut through something and you need that big belly. It's almost all belly. So these were a really traditional style knife, and the fact is, Finch has done an incredible job of maintaining that look and aesthetic of the traditional Barlow, and then turning it into a flipper and putting a pocket clip on it. It doesn't detract from it at all. The title of this video, as you saw, was Not Your Grandfather's Pocket Knife. But at first blush, it is my grandfather's pocket knife. Construction on it is great. Look at look at how they did that. This is so smooth, you can't even feel it. Of course, there you can, because detent, and when it's at detent and when it's open, you know, the lock bar's down. But anywhere else, you can't feel really, just barely if you run your thumbnail on it. The micarta is done incredibly well. The hardware is perfectly even on all the sides. The pocket clip in hand is nowhere near being a hot spot. The knife, it's not very big, so it puts it in a position where it's not going to be in an area where typically it would pinch, things like that. Flipper tab is not overly the jimping's not overly aggressive, and doesn't take anything to actuate it. It's just at the slightest touch. The action on it is so smooth, and that's a really light blade, and it just almost drops shut. Aesthetic, I mean, it's beautiful. You got that satin on the bolsters and the liners. All your hardware is polished and attractive. These are great little knives, and like I said, the whole thing about this takes me back to just spending time on the farm with my grandfather. You know, my parents both worked. I spent a lot of time on my grandparents' farm. You know, I spent a lot of time learning about using a knife as a tool for my grandfather, and a lot of them were knives like this. And I really dig this aesthetic. And then you've got that shield that's set down into the micarta. It's amazing. Now, the cutting I did with this was all light stuff. I cut some roses for my wife. We have rose bushes now here in San Diego. They're already in bloom. I have one of the biggest roses I've ever seen in my life that I cut with this. It's a great all-around knife. I didn't do any heavy cardboard cutting because the little things I did I knew were not going to mar the finish. And this thing is pristine. It's not my knife. It's lefties. I don't want to do a lot with it. I cut some paper. You know, I cut out some stuff. You can really get up on this if you're cutting through stuff. I'll tell you what I did cut. I cut a roast, like a beef roast, into cubes to make stew, and I used this as like a butcher knife just to see how it would do it. It cut incredibly well. This has still got the factory edge on it, and it came incredibly sharp. So Finch knives quality is just, they're really good. I mean, I know they're having QSP do their OEM, but OEM is only as good as the design allows it to be. You know, how much attention to detail did the person that designed the knife pay when they sent the design off? Because you send off a CAD file that has got issues with it, they're going to wind up in the knife. It's not the manufacturer's responsibility to correct your design. It's your responsibility to make sure your design was good to begin with. And obviously, they did a very good job of that. I see zero issues with it. That thing is a great knife. And at $120, it's not a bad price. Unfortunately, this is listed as discontinued. I know that happens a lot on this channel. By the time I get a knife, it's, you know, sometimes they show up discontinued. I can't help it. I don't have unlimited funds to just go buy stuff because I want to do a video. So last thing I want to do, I keep saying it's a small knife. Let's do some size comparisons. So here is the CJRB Rhea. And as you can see, CJRB Rhea is a small knife, and it is a good bit bigger than that. To put it in perspective, full size Benchmade 940. You know what I'm saying? This is not a very big knife. And the last comparison, of course, everybody is really kind of aware of what a Sebenza looks like in size. Much, much smaller. So not a very big knife. Let's get these out of the way. So yeah, this is a great knife. I would not mind owning one of these because, like I said, the whole nostalgia factor, and it brought me back to being on a farm with my grandfather. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, I would pay. I would pay for that nostalgia. So, guys, that's about it on this great little knife. If you've been on the fence about getting one, I cannot recommend it. I can't give it a higher recommendation. It's great. They're really well made. They're attractive and all of that. So let's go ahead, turn this around, and do some final thoughts so I can get done with this, clean this up, and spend Saturday with my daughter. Guys, not sure what day this video is going to go up, so I hope you had a good weekend. For me, it's Saturday. I'm planning on trying to film all weekend because I want to get stuff stockpiled because I may have jury duty here soon. So that may throw a hitch in a giddy up. Like I said, thanks to Lefty for sending this. Kevin sent these. All three of the knives he sent were great. Action and all that. I do like these Finch knives. I may look at trying to get one eventually that would be mine. And I like the fact that the logo is in the shield. This one glows as well. I believe, did I check it? Yeah, it glows just like the other one did. It's just kind of a cool form factor. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as, like I say, subscribe, hit the bell icon. That way you get access to all the content. Like and share and drop a comment. It helps push channels up the algorithm. If you do want to support the channel financially, though, there's a bunch of ways you can do it. I have them all down in the description. I have a membership link that gets you in on a bunch of different benefits, including Gilded server where we all chat all the time, access to some videos, exclusive content, sharpening tutorial series for the paying members at the premium tier, and you save $5 per knife on my sharpening service. The other ways you can do it, I have a bunch of affiliate links down below. Anything you purchase with the affiliate links, I get a little bit of it at checkout, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. The final ways, I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. I have set up a coupon code that works anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. That coupon code is CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp. Saves you 10% at checkout, and if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in the videos. Note, there is still not anyone that sent me a picture, including Jared over at Neve's Knives. Guys, that's it. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.